So, what is the most important factor for becoming a thriving artist? I kind of asked this question out on Twitter a while back. Got a pretty good response too. So, I thought it was interesting. I thought I'd share it here with you while I'm illustrating pages 7 and 8 of the Elijah and Crumpet Kids book. That's what the double page spread looks like. And let's get the comments up there. Better not get the one. Oh, better turn it down. Oh, I turned it off. Here we go. Can get that up there. We're going. Cool. So I thought initially that, okay, so to be a thriving artist in the first place, one thing you have to kind of do is like show up every day. That's kind of goes without saying. So I didn't include that in the poll because, if you do polls on Twitter, it only allows you to do 4. As you do 4 options. So it makes it hard for doing top 5s. But anyway, so I think one of the big things is you got to be consistent. You got to be creating every day and working on your craft every day. And so I suppose that's number 5, or that's number wherever you want to put it. So the other ones that I had, which I thought were important elements to being a thriving artist, is you've got to have community, a good sense of community around you, supporting you, and also you supporting other people in the artistic community, because that's one of those things that they talk about in quite a few books, like Real Artists Don't Starve by Jeff Goins, and who else? There's also that other thing of there's also that other element of, there's a book called 1,000 True Fans, and they say you only need 1,000 true fans to be a thriving, not necessarily a thriving artist, but a thriving person or whatever. So a thriving person who's creating. So I think community is a big one. The other one I put up there was mindset, because I know what I'm like when I don't have my head right, how hard it is to create. So yeah, I think mindset is definitely up there as one of the big ones. And hi, Bud's Backyard Barbecue. Bud's Backyard Barbecue is in the house. Nice to see you, man. What else did I have? I'd also so if you're going to be a thriving artist, it'd be pretty obvious that you need to be a skilled artist, because you'd think no one's going to buy your stuff if it's not any good, or if you're not highly skilled. So I think you'd have to have a good set of skills. I don't know your opinion on talent, skills over talent. That's probably a whole different discussion. And the other thing that I find as an artist is that I have a tendency just to kind of get comfortable and go with the flow, and kind of float from one job to another. And so I think it's probably pretty important to have a business plan as well. So yeah, that's kind of the other 4 things that I put up on Twitter, and yeah, I asked this on Twitter, but as a poll, and I thought it gave really interesting results. So I'll hit you with it now. So we've got all of those things that would be really important to be a thriving artist. And the least most important, I found ridiculous in a way, is that was skill set. People go, oh, you don't need to be massively skilled to be a thriving artist. Um, and what did I have there? I had 9% said that skill set was important to become a thriving artist. That sounds a bit crazy to me, but it does give me does make me feel good, because I feel like I'm just starting out, getting back into my kind of artistic kind of things that I'm doing, and I've got a long way to go to where I think I want to be. So it gave me a little boost. I go, I don't have to be brilliant. I think the big thing is that you have to be original. You have to bring your own voice to your art, and then in that way you can be a thriving artist. Bud's Backyard Barbecue says, I am a skilled carpenter and believe that what I do is artistry in some ways. Yeah, well, for sure it is. I've started off my paid career as a wooden boat builder, and there's definitely kind of artistic things, and in that field and in woodworking, you can be extremely creative. There's another person who I see quite regularly online is making sawdust. That's a great channel to follow if you're into woodwork stuff and you are on YouTube. That's a good one to follow. And so I found that really interesting. Bud's Backyard Barbecue. Art is doing what you love and making money with those skills. That's completely right. And that's what I think. That's kind of my definition of a thriving artist. Now, my version of thriving artist is potentially being able to pay all the bills and do the art that I love. So I don't have to, like today I'm going to spend 4 hours mowing, slashing someone's driveway. Now that to me, it's a job, you get paid for it, but I'd rather be doing this. I'd rather be doing artwork. So that's kind of what I'd define thriving as, being able to just support yourself with your artwork. So that kind of leads me to the next thing, which is 13% of people said that a business plan was the next most important thing to be a thriving artist. And I thought that probably would have been a lot higher, because, as I said before, if you don't kind of have a plan, you don't have goals, you don't have a strategy, you just kind of float around as an artist, not particularly without any direction, not really knowing what you're aiming for. If you don't know what you're aiming for, you can't exactly achieve it. And I think a big thing with business plan as well is that you need to have revenue streams and a content marketing plan, and you also need to be able to do all that accounting stuff and all that kind of garbage and stuff that I hate. But I think the thing is that to be a thriving artist, I think you need to embrace the stuff that you love, so that hopefully you earn enough money that you can outsource that stuff, like someone to do your taxes and stuff like that. Because if anything is going to kill your artistic drive or skills or anything like that, it's doing your taxes, I reckon. And then so 18% said community was important, and I think that's massive. I think that could have been number one, and especially with the whole digital age that we're living in, is that you can be on YouTube and Instagram, and you can be on all those social channels, but I think you've got this real great opportunity to be able to be connecting with other artists and helping other artists and having other artists help you. And I think that interesting thing about being thriving as well, though, is because, like, I don't know how many artists buy other people's art, so something that I probably need to focus on more as well, because I'm doing kids' books, is not just focusing on finding artists in my community, but finding people who are interested in what I'm doing, people who might actually um, purchase what I'm doing, like parents, for instance. So it's like, how do I target parents in Instagram and stuff like that, so they can see the books that are being created. So I need to kind of not only focus on building a community of artists around me, but building a community around what I'm doing in terms of what I'm interested in. And with this book, it's the whole Down syndrome community as well, um, and just also the parent community. So that's something that I probably need to focus on more with community. 60 psycho mods, the most important factor. I think not being able to find a job that I can put up with would be an overwhelming one, but that's just me. How are you, Andy? I am extremely well, and a job that I can put up with. So I was saying before, I'm about to finish my illustration stuff for the day here, and then I'm going to go and whip a snip long grass in a farm driveway for 4 hours to pay the bills. So my version of a thriving artist is not having to do that to make money, to actually just to actually be able to be doing this, be doing the stuff that I enjoy. Bud's Backyard Barbecue. Wow, those are some words. I've worked for myself for 17 years and have a construction business in Rockport, Texas. Nice one. Yeah, I ran a traveling cinema business called Road Movie Mobile Cinema, and I ran that business for 20 years, and it was great because, like, I was into film making, and I kind of, it's funny, some people said, oh, you finally made it in film. And I go, well, I wanted to be making films, I didn't want to be showing films. But anyway, so that was fun, but it's not really fulfilling my creative thing. And I think a problem with that business there is I kind of, in terms of having a thriving business, I think you can get very comfortable with your clients. You've got a few clients coming in, and you just kind of stick with that. But I think you need to be constantly building your community and keeping those relationships open, and not just relaxing and relying on those, because I think that business could have done a hell of a lot better than it did. I probably didn't have to close the business with kind of the information that I know now about stuff, but that's just the way it is. And Bud's Backyard is listening to Metallica War Pigs. Very nice. I'm often got my headphones on, cranked, while I'm illustrating, and it's often quite it's not classical music, let's say. And so the biggest thing so I got 45 responses, which for me is pretty cool, on this poll on Twitter, and from some cool people like Andy J Pizza and Chris Doe, if you know from the future, and anyway, so the thing that came through it at the top was mindset. Mindset, that's all you need to become, well, it's not all you need to become a thriving artist, but it's the main thing you need to become a thriving artist. And I found that amazing, exciting, and a little bit daunting all at the same time, because I know I have trouble with, staying positive with the whole Well, the whole thing is pretty hard to stay positive at the moment. You know, there's a pandemic. We've been having bushfires, all this kind of stuff. It's hard to stay focused and stay on track. Um, and I kind of know what I got to do in terms of mindset to be able to try and stay on top of things. It's just a matter of being able to do it. Um, I think meditation's a good one. I think definitely the right diet is a good one, and I think I'm going to start exploring some of the woo woo stuff. You know, like it's like you talk trash to yourself all the time. Say you're no good, and you know, and rather than talk trash to yourself, why don't just talk great stuff to yourself and say, oh, you know, and it doesn't have to be lies. It can be true. It can be saying like, you know, um, someone's trusted me to illustrate their kids' book. They're paying me for my work. Um, it's going to be published. Like stuff like that. Repeat those kinds of things in my head, saying rather than saying, "Geez, man, you're taking far too long. This is taking forever. You need to. You're no good." All that kind of stuff. You got to kind of flip that. So I need to try and work out how to use that mindset stuff, and also mindset stuff in terms of thinking big, dreaming big, because you can often try and play it far too safe, and if you play it too safe, I think thriving doesn't come from being safe. I think thriving comes from, you know, like, because I'm in the gardening thing. You know, gardening, you virtually mow over a rose bush, and they come back better than ever. I don't know where I'm trying to go there, but through difficulty, you thrive. That's what I'm trying to get through. With difficulty, you thrive. So you mow over a rose bush and it comes back better than ever. So I've finished up that bit of edited text for the Elijah and Crumpet Kids book there. Pretty happy with how that's looking. Let me just take that out so we can see it. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Thank you so much, 60 Psycho Mods, for dropping in, and Bud's Backyard Barbecue. And have an awesome day, people. Catch you next time.